This is the Shaver Prep Football Podcast, episode 42, season 2, presented by Aquarius Home Services and brought to you by True Stone Financial, 612 Quarterbacks, and powered by 10K Construction. U.S. Bank Stadium was the perfect place to crown 7 state football champions over the weekend. What a 2025 season, and some great games to close things out, like Jackson County Central surviving a tough Goodhue team 20-15 to win the Class 2A title. And that win puts an exclamation point at the end of the great career of the state's #1 football recruit, Roman Voss. So you sent me a text this morning, and part of it said, boy, we made it hard on ourselves to get that win. I know what that means, 6 turnovers in the football game, but it might have been a tougher game either way, right? Because Goodhue's a good football team. You guys had a tough time to win the Class 2A state title.
Yeah, they're a very good football team, and we knew it coming into the game. I mean, it's a state championship game. If they're not good, they're a good team. It's a state championship. So, yeah, I mean, we definitely did make it a little bit more hard on ourselves than we could have liked. But, I mean, just stuck with it, stuck to our culture, looked to our coaches. No one freaked out or anything. We knew we were going to win the football game, but just had to quick turn the ball over.
Can you remember the last time you trailed in the fourth quarter of a football game?
I don't think I would say maybe my freshman year, because I got hurt my sophomore year and we were winning at that point. So maybe my freshman year a game. Yeah, it would be a freshman year against Barnesville, probably, honestly, in the semis.
So what was that like on the sidelines on Friday when you were trailing in the fourth quarter?
After they scored that touchdown, I was like, wow. I mean, if we lose this game, this is just awful feeling. But I mean, there's 7 minutes left in that fourth quarter when we were losing, I'm pretty sure. 7 minutes left to go, and just made a good drive and did our assignments and finally didn't turn the ball over. So
was it the game plan for you to run the ball 38 times?
I think a little bit, not 38. Let's not go with 38, but I mean, yeah, got to do what you got to do, and just, I mean, yeah, get credit up front, and last game, got to give your all, right?
Right. 38 carries, 252 yards, 3 touchdowns. Those numbers don't get lost on a lot of people. Those are massive numbers. Were you exhausted when this game was over? Mentally, physically?
I don't know if you could tell watching, but I think this is probably the most exhausted I've ever been in my life playing a football game. I think I was just a little emotional too before the game, so I got a little worked up, and I've been kind of a little sick, coffee too, so I think that had a little part of it. And then just playing both sides like the whole game. I haven't done that ever really. And then like our quarterfinals game, you usually play a lot, but it's usually nice and cold, so it's not like you're used.
Right.
The coldness helps a lot with sweating and stuff, so it doesn't make you as tired. So yeah, I would definitely say one of the most exhausting games I've ever played in.
Was this an emotional day too? Talk about the emotions of this being your last football game with all these guys that you grew up with, and it just must have been gratifying yet very difficult at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I was balling after we got that fourth down, and I was just on the ground, just yelling, just yes, 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 and just growing up with these guys, and the past 2 years not being able to finish out my seasons too has just been super frustrating. Just thanking the Lord that I can just finish a season all the way through, and been playing MYFL since 3rd grade football. I mean, everyone does it, and everyone dreams of winning a state championship with their guys their senior year, and to actually be able to say it and do it is just, there's no other feeling.
So now you get to do other sports or whatever you're going to do, but the football part of it now shifts to the next level. So
I know.
It's crazy. Talk about, I suppose when you woke up Saturday morning, you're going, okay, the next time I put the pads on, well, other than the All-Star game, which you're going to play in December, but the next time after that, totally different deal.
I know. Before the game, the OC, Coach Harbaugh, Minnesota's OC, Coach Harbaugh texted me. He's like, think next game's going to be me trying to get you the ball. And it just like hit me. It's just like, wow, this is crazy. It's going to be so different. I mean, super excited. And after basketball's done, we're going to be doing Zoom calls all the time and up with Minnesota, trying to learn that playbook to get ready for the next football season. And it's crazy. It's going to be in the Twin Cities and playing for the Gophers.
But you're excited. I mean, you're ready. You're ready too, right? I mean, as much as you love high school football, you're ready.
I am extremely ready, and I've been looking forward to it.
Yeah. So, last question, just the overall feeling, not so with you, your teammates, your community. What was it like to win the second title, and to get a chance to be a big part of that second championship in a row?
Yeah, it just means the world to me. Having my brother as a coach and just guiding me through there, and just having him and my uncle as the OC and my cousin as a DB's coach. And I'm so close to my head coach, Tom Schuler, and just all those guys. And it just means the absolute world to be able to go from 8th grade now to my senior year and finish it off with a state championship. It's just, gosh, it doesn't feel real, but it's just also playing with the guys since, like I talked about, 3rd grade and ending it off on a win is just the best feeling ever.
Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
20 to 15, the final, closer than some people thought it would be.
Yeah.
But you were able to figure it all out. Roman, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Our final Talk North Walk the Talk winner is the state champion in Class 6A. Edina running back Chase Bjorgaard tied a Prep Bowl record, scoring 6 touchdowns in a 42-35 win over Moorhead. Bjorgaard rushed 31 times for 320 yards and 4 touchdowns, and he caught 2 touchdown passes. So 6 touchdowns in the state title game. So in your wildest dreams, could you have envisioned a night like you had on Friday night to win the state championship?
I mean, I knew for sure that we could beat him through the ground game, but I definitely did not expect that for sure.
So did you know the game plan? I'm sure you knew the game plan going in, but did you realize that this was going to be, when did you realize this was going to be a wild night for you?
I mean, at halftime for sure, I was like, I think I already had like 3 touchdowns at that point. We were moving the ball every single drive pretty easily. And I was like, I mean, we might be able to make something here, because I've had a couple games this year where I've had 3 touchdowns at half and then came out the second half and not been able to get another one. But yeah, so I'd say at halftime.
Just the numbers alone are staggering. I know you tied a Prep Bowl record with the 6 touchdowns, and that's great. But I look at the rushing numbers, and I went back and looked at your regular season numbers, and you had a great regular season, lots of good rushing games, but wow, nothing like 31 carries for 320 yards. Did it feel like 320 yards, or were you shocked when you saw the final number?
Before the game, we were talking about I needed like 259 to beat John Warpinski's record. So I kind of had that in the back of my mind throughout the game, and it makes it easy to kind of look up and see rush yards, and then so you can kind of see throughout the game. But yeah, I mean, thinking back on it, it just did not feel like that much. But I don't know, you kind of black out a little bit during the game, and don't remember exactly every single run. So
if somebody would have told you, Chase, that Mason West would throw only 7 passes and you would win the state championship, would you have said you're crazy?
Yeah, for sure. You would expect. I mean, I'm pretty sure he completed all 7 of those. But
he did.
Yeah. But yeah, you would think that we'd have to throw the ball more than that, especially with how good their pass game is. And I'm pretty sure we had to throw a lot more against them last game. So yeah.
So what does it feel like today to be a state champion? I mean, after everything you guys have gone through, I mean, 4-4 in the regular season, a 4 seed starting the tournament. How do you kind of feel today after all of this?
I mean, I feel like it's just kind of starting to sink in, like the gratitude. Like last night, it was like it just kind of felt like almost another game at the end, just like a little bit more accomplishing. And then now when I'm waking up this morning, I'm kind of starting to realize like, wow, we actually did it. We were kind of like you said, a 4 seed, 4-4. Yeah, man. And we just kept going took it one game at a time, one play at a time, and tried to win every single play. And then at the end of the day, we came out champions. And that's just an unreal feeling for sure.
The last question I have is the number that I looked at this morning, 332 carries your senior season. When the season started, did you have any idea that this was going to be this kind of a season for you, where you would touch the ball that many times in rushing attempts this year?
Definitely not. I know our coordinator, Josh Fogg, likes to kind of wear on one running back and put a heavy workload on him, but I definitely did not think, especially with Mason West at the throne, that I'd be running the ball that many times.
Well, congratulations to you. What a night. 31 carries, 320 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns, 2 catching touchdowns, tied a Prep Bowl record, and on top of that, you win a state championship. It just doesn't get any better than that, does it?
Does not, no.
Congratulations.
All right, thank you, sir.
I want a stress-free holiday season, which means no surprises except during gift giving. And here's my gift to you. A new Connecticut water treatment system. Well, I'm not going to buy it for you, but if I did, we'd save up to 25% right now thanks to Aquarius Home Services. Enjoy sparkling dishes, softer laundry, and worry-free drinking water. Sound good? Well, then gift it to yourself. Go to AquariusHomeservices.com today to get started. Aquarius, earning the right to be recommended. So here are the state football champions of 2025. 9-player Hills Beaver Creek. Class 1A champion Minneota. They've now won 46 consecutive games. Class 2A champion Jackson County Central. Repeat champions. Class 3A title winner Annandale. Class 4A champion for the first time ever Orono. Class 5A Spring Lake Park finishes a perfect season. And the Class 6A state champion is Edina. 2 coaching notes from the end of the high school football season. First, Dwight Lundeen announced next season, his 57th year at Becker, will be his last. Dwight is the only head football coach in Becker high school history. He is second all-time in the state of Minnesota in wins. Next fall will be special in so many ways. And last week, Mike Diggins announced he has stepped down as head football coach at Centennial. Mike won a state title in 2023. He walks away from a program he helped build into a Class 6A perennial power. Well, I guess the first thing I want to know from you is, how did you know when it was time to walk away?
Well, I think last year I started feeling it, and I started not liking some things that I had to do in the off season, to be honest with you. And a head coach has to do that stuff, and they have to be enthusiastic. One example is youth camps. I got kind of tired of doing that and setting that up, and I had people on my staff that loved doing that. So I just thought it's time. It's time. And also noticed in the last few years, it sounds different, but I get really anxiety now for games, and it shouldn't be that way. It's high school football. You shouldn't be worried that much about a game.
Where was the program, Mike, when you started at Centennial?
I think Mike Watson, I was working with Mike Watson, and, he built it from Jerry Grant. He built it up when he came in. But it was, I think the big words now are culture. And I don't think that was a big catchphrase back when I first started, is culture. And it was more of a program. And like all programs, you showed up August 14th and you played your season, and then there was really nothing after that. I think now it's became a 24/7 job. It's around the clock. I think your weight room program has to be top notch, and I think ours is. And the culture in the building to get kids out and play need to be there. And that wasn't quite the case back then.
Do you feel like you're leaving it in a great place?
I think it's one of the top 10 programs. I think it's got room to grow though. And I have a favorite for the next head coach, but and I think that person would develop the program even more. There's some things that need to be changed a little bit, and I think it's important that a new coach changes some things. It's not all perfect, but I think it was pretty dang good when I handed my resignation in on Monday.
Is the new coach someone that's familiar with the program?
Somebody that's really familiar with the program. He's got to go through the interview process and all that, and who knows what happens there.
Right.
You know, I can't predict that, but I'm telling you, he is ready to be a head coach, and he will do a great job. And I'll have fun watching him on Friday nights, Coach.
So for those that don't know who we're talking about, we're talking about your son, who's been on the staff for a long time.
Yeah, he's been there 8 years. He's the defense coordinator, and he's the head of our weight room program. And I think when you run 700, and not all football players, but when you run 780 kids through the summer through that weight room program, it's built here. The weight room program is built. He's a big culture builder. He's good with kids. The kids really like him. They gravitated towards him. You know, he works at the high school. And he's done a lot of that stuff, and he's ready X's and O's. And you know, I think our staff will all stay too, which is probably one of the better staffs in the state of Minnesota, to be honest.
What's the one thing you're going to miss the most?
You know, I'll always miss the players. Seriously. I love our kids, and it was always fun just to go out. The one thing about being with youth and younger kids, you feel younger as you get older. You know, they make you laugh and they make you feel like you're a young guy again. But also our staff. Our staff is fabulous. They're fun guys. They take football serious, but also know when to joke when we need to joke and laugh and relax. And we all are tight. Families are tight in that. And, you know, I think, you know, somewhat I'll be part of it because I'll live through my son basically. But, you know, those are the two things. People say the winning and losing, that never, ever really bothered me if we lost. As long as we're playing well and we prepare our kids, I always felt comfortable with the outcome of a game. But I think it's just those two things the most.
Are the demands of a head coach in high school football in Minnesota today just a little bit more than what some people would even fathom to think?
Oh, I don't think, you know, I really don't think everybody understands that sitting in the bleachers on Friday night, what these guys go through. I have assistant coaches that are putting 20 hours of film work in a week. And I'm thinking it's high school football.
Yeah.
And when we meet, Sunday nights is a 4-hour process. And then we have 2. For me, it was like an 8-hour process being at both meetings. But it's became around the clock. And I know we gave them a week off, and our weight room program's going on right now for our football players. And we've started that process already. And then when you add in youth clinics, and during the winter, we meet with our youth once a month, and you add all that in, it's a lot of hours. And I don't think people realize that. I don't think people understand that.
So what's the one thing you're looking forward to the most next fall?
Well, I was honestly
not football related.
Oh, okay. Because I was told by my wife, you will sit in the bleachers, you will be with me for the first time in 43 years, and you're going to hold your grandson on your lap. When my wife talks and speaks, then that's probably what I'm doing. But I really do look forward to going to games.
Good.
And I do look forward to maybe go, you know what? There's a better game. I want to go to that game and watch that game. You know, I'm also I'm a big fisherman. I love fishing. I've never fished in 44 years in the fall. Not one time have I ever fished. Once football starts, we were always done on our cabin.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to fall fishing for once.
Good for you.
You know? Yeah.
Good for you. One last question. Is the 2023 state championship the one memory you take, or is there something maybe deeper than that you take with you?
I think there's a lot. I think 2023 will stand out. There's no doubt. I'm not going to lie. We watch the video at least once a year, and we succeeded this year. I thought we were really close to getting there again this year. That dang Moorhead team was pretty good. I think, though, just the change of what we did as a staff, changing it from 1 to 2 wins, and then, once in a while a good year, to more consistency every single year, and getting more kids out. And that's the stuff that I'm proud of. I mean, I'm not saying every kid that leaves this program like me, but like they did Mike Watson. That's the one thing I wish I could have done a little better. But I think they can say, you know what, we gave everybody a fair shot. We gave you game time. We gave you playing time in JV or varsity. And I will miss that part of it. And I think that's a great memory for us. Just our first big state tournament going to 2019 against Wayzata when they won the state that year. We had 8 kids out. That was a great memory. We had 8 starters out and we went toe to toe with them, but we were novice too. We forgot what time we were supposed to be on the field. We were 5 minutes late. It was a dang joke, but it's that. And it's just, again, the memory and just being with kids, and even our parents are fabulous at Centennial. They are fabulous. I very rarely have any conflict with them. They don't agree with everything we do. I understand that, but I think they agree to disagree. It's a fabulous community, fabulous administration. I mean, there's not too many people, Randy, that their principal, their AD, and their superintendent were out on the field in the 6A program. There is not too many people that I got lucky to have all that. And the support that I got from our administration has been super.
Well, congratulations on an outstanding career. And I wish you nothing but the best next year.
Okay. Thank you.
I know you'll stick around football. I know you and I will run into each other at some point along the way, but it's been a pleasure to cover you and your team.
I think we'll see each other maybe a year off, but I think the itch will be there to be an assistant coach. And one thing about the way we ran our program, at least, I missed the kids as a position group. I didn't have a position group. And I really miss getting tight with the kids that I used to have as running backs. And so I think somewhere I'll find a spot, whether it's here or somewhere else. I think I'll find a spot somewhere down the line.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
Yep. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye.
This episode is brought to you by 612 Quarterbacks, Minnesota's premier quarterback development program. At 612 Qs, they're committed to creating a high-quality quarterback development program, both affordable and accessible. Their training goes beyond the basics, not only focusing on proper throwing mechanics and footwork, but also building strong football IQ, leadership, and resilience. Their mission is to educate, inspire, and challenge athletes to raise their standards on the field and in life. Through training and mentorship, they're building more than quarterbacks. They're building a community rooted in growth, accountability, and shared success. Learn more today at 612quarterbacks.com. 10K Construction is your one stop for all your general contracting needs, whether interior, exterior, residential, commercial, or multifamily properties. They build relationships with their clients, and that's how they've grown their business through referrals. Plus, they are teaming up with LP SmartSide to become Minnesota's premier siding installer. And they're also partnering with IKO Shingles as well. They've got the best of the best to do the job right. 10K Construction covers both Minnesota and Wisconsin. Now, the rumor is they charge a little extra because it's Packer land. I'm not sure about that, but what I am sure about, 10K Construction is the company you want handling all of your general contracting needs. Go to 10kconstruction.com for details. So there's one high school football game left in Minnesota, the annual All-Star game to be played next month at US Bank Stadium. The North versus the South, And let's meet the head coaches. Well, the last high school football game of 2025 will be the Minnesota High School All-Star Football Game, which will be played on December 13th at US Bank Stadium, a 1 o'clock start. And the two head coaches for the North and the South are with me right now. Garrett Muller from Stewartville. He's on the bottom down there. And Justin Voss from North Branch. Congratulations, first of all, guys. Just give me a brief, how did you find out that you are the head coach? Justin, I'll start with you. How did you find out?
Yeah, I was teaching math to my fifth graders, and I happened to look at my email. I thought, Dave Fritzy, who is this guy? I better click on this. Then I thought to myself, is this some sort of scam? Maybe this is, am I going to look into this much? So the math lesson didn't go as well because I was pretty preoccupied that this is what a cool opportunity this is. But that's why I found out in class teaching math. It was awesome.
Okay. How about you, Garrett?
Yeah, same thing. I'm a high school teacher, so wasn't in the middle of a math lesson necessarily if I had a teacher at the high school. But yeah, at some point, checked the email, saw that from Dave and from the MFCA, and just very, very excited and honored that, they would recognize us and think of us to not only be a part of the staff, but, serve as the head coach this year. So I'm very honored and excited.
Have you guys coached in this before? Were you ever an assistant coach in this? Were you around it at all? Have you been down there when they've played? Any connection at all to the All-Star game? Garrett?
We've had a couple of players the last few years be a part of it, so I've gotten a chance to go, watch as a spectator. A couple of our guys over the last few years. Last year, Parker Wangen and Grayson Schneider both played in it, and we had a couple of guys in 22 and 23 as well. So seems like an awesome event. Those were like the first guys that I contacted after I got word about it. Asking, okay, what does it look like? What was your experience?
Yep.
Do's and don'ts, right? What do the players want to do and look forward to? Because I think that's the big thing, is just delivering a great experience to those kids and making it a great week for everyone. So it was great to get some feedback from those guys and their experience and what they enjoyed the most coming out of it.
How about you, Justin?
Yeah, no experience, no players so far, but I just heard a lot about it. And then certainly when I got the word that I was going to be on the staff, I called a few people that I knew that are on staff prior, and kind of what Garrett did, just to ask, like, what was the experience like, what to expect, and what are some things that we can do that'll make it be a positive, memorable experience for the guys coming here. That's the kind of number one priority is, the season's over. Now we have one more game to play. How do we make it memorable for these guys? So I got some really great feedback there, and we're excited to put some of those into use, and hopefully be a fun, memorable experience for those guys coming down for the All-Star game.
All right. So give me an example, Justin, of something that you were, some information that you picked up that you're going to try and use for the All-Star game.
Sure. Well, a couple things. So one, I like music at practice. So it's, that's a hard thing for me to get into. And my guys in North Branch kind of got me into it. And I was told that'd be a very popular thing to have music playing. So we'll get some music. Maybe we'll see some dancing from the guys. I don't know. That'd be kind of fun. And then they also said celebrations, which I'm from Albany,
Yes.
Small town USA, hard-nosed football. The celebration we had was handing the football to the official. So I'll need some learning around that, but I'm excited to have the guys get out there and celebrate an interception or a touchdown. And that's, I guess, kind of part of the atmosphere, and it makes it kind of fun. So those are two things I was told might be enjoyable for the kids to kind of experience.
I was down there last year for the All-Star game, and I saw a few of those celebrations in the end zone. They were pretty funny and some unique. What about you, Garrett? What are a couple of things that maybe you've picked up that you're going to do for the team?
I think a lot of the same stuff. Those guys ultimately, those guys want to have a lot of fun, and so what can we do to create that experience for them? We talk about celebrations. We just had recently had a staff meeting or a Zoom meeting with all the coaches north and south, and that was something that even Dave Fritz, organized it, like highly encourage, hey, make sure these guys, you got to carve out some practice time to make sure, they're on point with their celebrations. We'll certainly do that. Music is a big thing that we incorporated in our practices. So I think something I'm going to do is reach out to players and, give me like a song so I can kind of curate a playlist, right? So we got, a little bit of everything that everyone likes, different genres and stuff like that. So everyone's got something that they want to jam to when we're out there. And then I think the other thing is just trying to get players involved a little bit with, offensively and defensively, what we're calling on the field scheme wise, trying to get guys touches. Everyone's coming from a different offensive and defensive scheme a little bit, so everyone's got different experiences. So trying to get them involved in the process of like how can we get you the ball and things like that. And so I'm sure we'll have some unique opportunities for those guys to get them involved as much as we can.
All right, so give me just a little bit of that, a little bit of the X's and O's. What's your philosophy? Defensively is going to be pretty vanilla, I'm guessing. So how about offensively? Give me just a couple of thoughts about what you're planning to do offensively.
Yeah, so I'm the offense coordinator for Stewartville in addition to being the head coach, and so I'm going to do the same here for the All-Star game. So looking forward to working with we've been blessed to have some pretty talented kids the last several years come through our program, and even in the time since I've been at Stewartville since 2011. But to look at that roster and see Division I, Division II, Division I, it's like, oh my God, all the things that you maybe would have liked to have done with your team. That's like, the average kid from Stewartville can't necessarily go execute things the same way. So we're kind of a multiple spread offense. And so just try to incorporate a lot of different formations for guys to get guys the ball out in space, pretty balanced run and pass game as well. And I think the balance to try to find is, what can we reasonably, install and have these guys execute within 3 days. In talking to some coaches that have coached in this game in the past, the one thing, a big takeaway was how impressed they were just from a football IQ standpoint, right? Like these kids are going to play Division I because they're freak athletes in size and like that, but they also are really smart football players on top of that. So they're able to pick up concepts, pretty quickly and implement things like that. And I think, the other thing is that there'll be a lot of schemes that are similar. It's going to be the verbiage and the language and the communication that's going to be different, right? So how can we best communicate this stuff to these guys so they can go out and execute it? So that's kind of now, since our season has ended, shifting to how can I take our offense, boil it down to some things that I think, will fit this group well, and how do I communicate it out to the guys so they can go execute on game day.
Do you think, Justin, you might be a little surprised at how much maybe you can install offensively, just because these players are, they're the cream of the crop. They're up here and they're football oriented, both physically and mentally. So maybe you might be surprised at what you can do.
I think we're going to be in the similar boat what Garrett talked about. I think there's, they're obviously stellar athletes, but they know the game so well. And I think we can utilize that to our advantage and not feel like we have to kind of take things slow or let's not try this because they may not understand this. They likely will understand that.
Right.
I think we talked about too, just keeping things simple though. When you have good athletes, keeping things simple is often the best recipe. It allows them to be athletic and be who they are. So our really hope is offensively, Chris Grabowska is our offensive coordinator from Fergus Falls.
Yep.
It's spread. I told him when he took over as offensive coordinator for us, I said, listen, I don't know much about the spread. We're power T, throw the ball 3 times a game, maybe. It's a little different for me. So he sent me these formations, and I was trying to put it all together. He does a great job. He's really excited about leading. He'll do an awesome job. But I think really what we came down to is these are good athletes. Let's let them be athletes out there. Let's keep things simplistic, allow them to go play, and I think that'll be a benefit to us.
So one of the things that the All-Star experience includes is away from the field and things that they will do away from the field. Can you give me one thing that you've kind of circled on your what you're hoping to accomplish off the field with these guys that, again, makes the experience memorable? I'll start with you, Justin.
Yeah, I would say that I know Dave's got some things already built in. We have some speakers coming in from the NFL to talk to the guys. I think that'll be just a cool experience to hear perspective from somebody that has reached the highest level. So that'll be really interesting. I think the banquet, it's on Friday.
Yep.
I know it may not be the NFL players coming in some of those pieces, but what a great opportunity for the players and their families to be recognized. I mean, these guys have earned this opportunity to be in the All-Star game with their dedication, their hard work, consistency through the years they've played football. And equally, their parents have also earned that opportunity. Yeah. They've raised kids with this strong foundation of the importance of work ethic and what it means to put the time in to achieve what you hope to achieve. So I think the banquet would be a great opportunity to kind of put a cap on some really stellar careers in their high school and to recognize the work they put in and what it means when you do put the work in, you can reach these high high achievements that these guys are reaching, which is just stellar.
How about you, Garrett? Is there something off the field that?
Yeah, I mean, I think those are the two, probably the two of the big highlights that I would have mentioned as well. I think it's trying to find some time, to get these guys comfortable with each other. A big thing that we try to emphasize in our program is building trust when we start off the season together, because ultimately that's going to lead to success on and off the field. And we'll have some guys that have probably played with or against each other a decent amount growing up, and you'll have some guys that have never met or talked to the other guys before. And so how do we, in those 3 days, build some trust between our offense and defensive groups so that they can go out there and compete together? It's a really tall task, especially I feel like, like an offensive side of the ball, where guys are going to be running stuff that maybe they've never run before, and you're expected to go do it at a high level, right, with a short amount of time. So how can we start, building some of those foundational layers with a new group of kids so that they can go out and, have a great experience on game day?
All right. Last question. Is there, and your rosters are just loaded. I mean, the beauty of the All-Star game now, when it's played in December, is that the D1 kids can take part, even if they're leaving high school after December to go start college early, they can still participate, which I think just makes this game so much better. So, Garrett, I'll start with you. Is there a player on your roster that you look at and Roman Voss or someone like that?
Well,
who you were like, I can't wait to not only meet them, but like pick their brain a little bit, just kind of see what they're all about.
I think that's the exciting piece, like you said, like pick their brain a little bit as talented high school football players who have played at a high level, and get some of their thoughts and feedback as you go into like a game plan or play calling and stuff like that. But Roman certainly would be at the top of that list. I think obviously has been a high level recruit, staying home here with the Gophers. Really excited to work with him, especially at the quarterback position. As the offensive, play caller, to have a guy like that in that position, that really allows us to open up the playbook and do a lot of different things in both the run and the pass game. Imagine got a very high football IQ as well. Very excited to work with a guy like himself. The running back out of Minnetonka, Francois. Being outstate a little bit, don't get to see a lot of the metro highlights necessarily during the season, but now after kind of seeing the roster and doing some social media and looking at some tape and some film, it's like mind blowing how explosive and talented that kid is.
Yeah.
Like, well, we could just, put the ball in his hands every play, and it's probably going to be a good outcome. So he's another kid that, very excited to work with and think about all the different ways, right, we can get him involved on the offensive side. It's pretty exciting.
How about for you, Justin? Is there a player or two that you're going, wow, I can't wait to be around that guy?
Yeah, I've never seen that roster and just the size of some of the kids.
I know.
My gosh, I'll be, great game shaking up to them, as a grown man. So, no, I think the roster, it's so exciting to look at all these guys. You hear their names on social media, especially, and they did such a great job highlighting the great skills these athletes have. It'd be hard to talk about one player. For me, though, what I look at it is the offensive line and defense line. I think for any good football team, those need to be the pillar of what you do, and they often don't give the accolades, because they're not getting the numbers that go in the paper. But for an offense line that we have that just got size and physicality and is knowledge of the game, I'm really excited to see those guys work. And like Garrett talked about, pick their brain. They have great knowledge. What can I learn from them? We're hoping to give some things they can utilize, but for me, selfishly, I want to know, what can we learn from you guys along the way? So offense, I'm really excited about just to see how those guys work together. And we know and we feel that if the offense line is going to do well, they hold our key to our success. So we're excited with the offense line and see what they can do out there. And then defense line, same thing. That's the same exact thing. If they're doing well defense line wise, they're being explosive. They're going to put us in a good spot defensively. So those are two groups I'm really excited to watch and see how they do throughout the week leading up to our game on Saturday.
You're not going to have to worry about where do I put the 5'10", 180-pound guard.
Yeah, true that.
Because your offensive and defensive lines are massive, which makes this so much fun. Fellas, thanks so much for doing this. Have fun. Again, the All-Star game in Minnesota is Saturday, December 13th, a 1:00 start at US Bank Stadium. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Garrett, and good luck on that day.
Thank you, Randy.
Thanks, Randy.
We'll be right back. I was visiting with my friends at Truestone Financial the other day. They're a warm and welcoming group. They're known as the Neighborhood Credit Union, and I can't think of a better way to describe them. When I'm at Truestone, I feel like I'm chatting with my neighbors. Combine that personality with a full menu of services and a lot of financial expertise, and you have a winning combination. Whether I need a checking account, a car loan, or even a mortgage, I know I'm going to work with some very smart, friendly people. With 23 locations in Minnesota and Wisconsin, you're not far from a Truestone neighborhood. Visit a branch near you or learn more at truestone.org. Truestone is an equal housing opportunity lender. This is the final Shaver Prep Football podcast for the 2025 season, and my thanks to the great sponsors, Aquarius Home Services, who've been awesome to work with and so supportive of this show. To Truestone Financial, whose commitment to local high school sports is amazing. Thank you for being here with us. 10K Construction, to Jake and Craig and the entire 10K team, thank you for your support. And 612 Quarterbacks, you're such a perfect sponsor of a show like this because of your personal commitment to player growth. To all of you, thank you. Also, my thanks to producer Alex Haugen, whose work on making this show look good and sound good is the true secret to its success. Alex brings the vision to life each week, and I appreciate his hard work. And thank you to the audience for watching and listening. All of us here appreciate you. This wraps up the Minnesota high school football season for 2025. And until next time, so long.